Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I decided to do a tutorial on cream highlight and contour. I just wanted to show you guys how I do my cream contour because personally I think it looks more natural than just using powder or bronzer. So yeah, I just showed you guys how I do my cream highlight and contour. So let's just get right into it. Okay, so for primer I'm using my MAC Prep and Prime in Natural Radiance. This is the luminous base. And yeah, because if I don't prime my face, my cream contour does not stay. So here we go. Okay, and then I put foundation on before I do my cream contour, but I know some people do the cream contour and then cover it in foundation, but I just don't like that. So for foundation, I'm using the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow. And this is in 202 Creamy Natural. And I actually like to do the cream bronzer first for some reason that I don't know. So this is the Ben Nye Cream Foundation in P11 or Chinese. And I mean, it's foundation, but why not use it as a cream contour? Okay, so I start at about the top of my ear and you want it to go in a line and match up. Well, you don't want it to go all the way to your mouth, but the angle of your line is from the top of your ear to the corner of your mouth. And since I have like big chubby cheeks, I bring my contour in a little further and it slims them. But if you have really slim cheekbones, you want to keep it farther back. And I just make that initial line towards the corner of my mouth. Might need a little bit more. And then from that line, I just blend up. Never blend down or it'll make your cheeks look, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, and for a brush, I'm just using this Real Techniques, I think it's a buffer brush. It's just like flat top kinda. Then for your forehead, you wanna start at your hairline because that's where it's gonna be darkest and it's gonna fade into the actual foundation color. And so you also don't wanna go past an angle at the edge of your eye because that way your cheekbone looks like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what the words I'm looking for is. You want your cheekbone to extend all the way back here and look like it's popping out. So you wanna start at your hairline and blend it at your hairline. Don't go past the end of your eyebrow and then slightly blend it in towards the center of your face. Not too far because you don't want your forehead to look too small. And then blend it right in the middle. Blend it. Oops, didn't get enough. And then I don't always contour my nose, but if I did, I would just take the brush very lightly. Let me hold the mirror up here. Slim the nose. If you go too far over, it's okay because, oh man, you can always fix it with your foundation brush. Or in my case, beauty blender, but still. And I make it a little bit more intense so I know where my lines are at first. And then I take, well, I've been putting the cream on this side of my brush. So then I flip it and blend it with this side. I'm gonna blend it right here. And I'm gonna take my foundation sponge and I'm going to Get those edges to be a little less absolutely stark dark. Blend it a little bit with my finger, and I'm gonna pinch it so it's nice and small, and then make sure I run it up the center of my nose so that the center is still highlighted. Okay, so then for cream highlighter, I'm going to be taking the Maybelline, well, you can't tell this is the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer because it's all rubbed off, but the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in 15 Fair. I usually use 10 instead of 15, but they were out, so I'm using 15. Okay, so highlighting, I put underneath my eyes. Don't hit the contour too hard because we're gonna blend them together. You don't want it to completely mess up what you've already done. And then, so under both eyes, down the center, okay, I'm gonna do this. Down the center of my nose, in the center of my forehead. You want it to fan out. You don't want just like a stark like blob of highlight. You want it to fan up and out towards your contour. Ah! And then the center of your chin. Okay, so I know a lot of people highlight this part of their chin, but if you highlight right there where it creases, that's actually where you're supposed to highlight because it brings it forward. And then also my Cupid's bow. And if you're feeling fancy, you can highlight right underneath your contour line, but I don't like to do that because I like it to look more natural. But if I was going full glam, I would do that and then just blend it down. So then I take my beauty blender again, and I'm just going to blend that in. Get right under the eye. And when you're blending towards your contour, just lightly dab them together. You don't want to get rid of that contour because then that defeats the purpose, you know? And you want to take that highlight all the way up your cheekbone. So back towards your hairline. And then again for the nose, you want to pinch this because, I mean, if you have one of those little beauty blenders, that'll be fine. Oh, my eyelashes are coming off. But since I have a big one, I like to pinch it so it's skinny enough and doesn't mess up the contour. And I just blend that in. And then same thing with the forehead, you want to slightly blend it in. I'm like tapping very lightly. You want to slightly blend it into the contour because you don't want to mess up what you just did. And even if you did, like I just did, you just take whatever's left on your brush from when you did the cream contour and just kind of blend it into the center again. Then go back to your chin and Cupid's bow. And a little bonus, if you want a really good, actually highlighter, cream highlighter, use this Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize. Use this Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize because this stuff is so good. I'm like basically at the bottom of the pot because I use it probably every time I put makeup on because it's so awesome. So I just take a little bit on my finger, sorry for flicking you off. Why is my eye watering? And I take it right on the top of my cheekbones with my finger. Don't dab it down. Okay, that was too much. Don't dab it and blend it into your contour because you don't want a sparkly contour, you know? So just put it right on the top of your cheekbones where you would put powder highlighter. I don't know if this picks up very well on the camera, but this stuff is blinding. It's really awesome. Then I take a little bit down the center of my nose and on the tip of my nose. And also on my Cupid's bow. Okay, then to finish it all off, I'm going to set everything. And so you want to set the highlighter with a lighter or translucent powder than your actual face powder so that it will stay highlighted and not just, you know, morph into the rest of your face. So I like to use, dust everywhere. I like to use this e.l.f. translucent powder because it's really cheap and it works really well. So yeah, I just take a little bit of that in the cap, take on my brush, take it on my brush, not take on my brush. And I just, also, yeah. I don't know if anyone else has this, but I have like slight wrinkles right underneath my eyes. So right before I put powder on, I make sure all that concealer is blended out under there so that I don't set any creases. I'm gonna go as close to my eye as possible, getting enormous amounts of powder in there. So I'm just setting everywhere that I put the highlighting concealer, and that's gonna be down my nose, my Cupid's bow, the center of my forehead, and my chin. And then set the rest, Then set the rest of your face with whatever face powder you use. I use the e.l.f. finishing powder in Fair Light. I like to do it only a light tap because this is a glowy foundation and I don't want to make it too matte. So I just kind of lightly put this over that, just so you know, it doesn't transfer. And then you can either leave it your face like this, or you can go in with your actual powder contour, your powder, what's it called? Highlighter, and your powder blush. I don't use cream blush, so I would definitely go in with powder blush. We're going to be using the e.l.f. I've been using a lot of e.l.f. the e.l.f. powder blush in Sweet Retreat. And I just like this because it's like, basically goes with every single makeup look ever. And I just like smile, so I have nice apples on my cheek, and then put the blush on and blend it a little bit into my contour. Then for highlighter, I'm going into my Becca Champagne Pop, which I completely destroyed when I dropped on the ground. And now I only have a little bit left. But I'm gonna keep using it until it's gone. So I'm gonna take this right over where I put the cream highlighter. Not the cream concealer, because if you put it everywhere you put the cream concealer, you're gonna look crazy. Down the center of my nose. My Cupid's bow. Then you can go ahead and do the rest of your makeup, like your eye makeup, eyebrows. I already decided to do it, didn't do anything to my eyes, but for lips, I'm just going to be putting on a lip gloss, and this one is the Kathleenlights in Colourpop Ultra Glossy Lip in Moonchild. And I used this in my last video and I love it. I wear it like every day because, you know, wintertime and your lips are all chapped, so. And then to finish it off, I am taking my I'm taking my MAC Fix Plus. I'm just gonna spray that on my face. And yeah, so that is how I cream, highlight, and contour. And I really hope this video was helpful, and if it was, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!